always stressful to share an elevator with a stranger. Still, it could be worse.
Hey, June.
I could have to share it with my sister. Okay, I'm kidding. We love each other. Love giving each other a hard time. Okay, I love giving her a hard time. For instance. Hey, Didi-Doo! Nothing?
I haven't eaten yet. My blood sugar's low, okay? Come with me to the cafeteria.
Okay.
But if you utter that stupid nickname one more time, I'll strangle you.
There it is. She had me worried for a sec.
This food looks nasty.
Did you notice? Diane loves being in charge. She wasn't always like that. It started when she was a teenager. Some people get acne. She got authority.
So? How's work?
Scheduling, phone calls, spreadsheets. It's mind-numbing. There's no time to think. That's why I love it so much.
How's your script coming along?
Oh, I never should have told her about it. I guess I had a moment of weakness. I thought she would worry less about me if she knew I was working on something creative. But why did I even think she was worrying about it in the first place? She doesn't seem worried now. Better change the subject. And how are you?
Well, since you ask,
So easy.
I was doing good until yesterday. One of my idiot patients up and groped my ass.
She's a physical therapist, working with professional athletes. She spends her days massaging pretty boys with 2 brain cells and 0 self-control. She's the best in her field, I've heard. All the major soccer clubs are... Oh, Diane, I'm sorry.
Why? It's not my first rodeo. But that pathetic little virgin really pissed me off. Anyway, he has a broken hand now. Good thing he plays soccer, not volleyball.
The worst part is, she's not joking.
In other news, this place is so stressful. Everyone's way too nice.
It is a hospital, Diane.
I know. They should be scowling 24/7. So, how is she?
I haven't been to see her yet.
What are you waiting for? A singing telegram? Sorry, that was uncalled for. This whole situation, it's just a lot.
Yeah? Sounds like there's something else. Something else bothering you?
No, nothing else.
Wanna bet that there's something else?
Well, I guess, I did meet with the doctor this morning. She told me about your deal. Between Mom and you. And, to be honest, I was shocked. Were you going to tell me at some point?
Ugh, see? I knew that this whole trusted advocate thing would never fly. The only question is, will she believe me when I tell her I didn't know? Given the state she's in, I wouldn't bet on it. Look, I'm sure you're upset.
Of course I'm upset. We just found out that Mom might die. Does that mean nothing to you?
It does. Of course it does. But it's okay. I'm handling it. You know, I'm perfectly capable of making this decision. Just leave it to me this time.
What's going on, June?
I'm sorry?
Something's wrong.
Could be the grapefruit. I read somewhere that it's really toxic and...
No, it's not the grapefruit. I don't recognize you. You're different.
Ooh, she wants to talk. Seriously. That's just her way to cope with stress. She needs to dissect things to understand them. And she needs to understand things in order to control them. So, what's the play? Idiot or goldfish? Maybe if I say nothing, she'll...
And don't pretend you can't hear me.
I guess I can't get out of this one.
You're acting like some kind of robot. You're all closed off. And you clearly aren't considering how I feel about all this.
What's the game here? Where's the Jen I know? She's got some nerve lecturing me as though nothing happened. I'm not gonna lie, she's not entirely wrong. I haven't exactly been brimming over with empathy recently. It's not my fault, you know, it just makes it easier to get through the day. For me, at least. I'm not sure how anyone else manages. Okay, maybe I am a little bit distant, but have you thought about my situation?
See? That's exactly the problem. And, okay, this is going to make me sound like a huge asshole yet again, but I'm used to that. I've been meaning to talk to you about this, so why not do it now? We're here for Mom, and you can see how hard this is on me. And yet, here we are, yet again, talking about you. What happened to you was awful. It really was. Absolutely horrible. But that was 5 years ago.
It can't be 5 years. It can't be 5 years. It can't be 5 years. It was only yesterday. And why the hell is she bringing this up anyway? Where are you going with this?
I don't really know. I guess I'm a little worried about you. I don't understand what goes on in your head, and that scares me. Why are you like this?
Really? She's worried about me? You had to go there, didn't you? You really, you can't help yourself. Whenever you can't control something, you just hate it, don't you? And so, pow, you attack.
You're wrong, June. I'm just trying to help. You can't really tell me that everything's fine, can you?
Do you think that throwing my little problems back in my face is going to help? Oh, wonderful, wow. Oh, it's a miracle, I'm cured. Thanks for the therapy session, but I really have to go. Obviously, you can handle everything just fine on your own, so go ahead and take care of Marie.
Wait, June! Don't leave, please! I'm sorry. I really need you. I really am a dumbass.
She really is a dumbass. Should I be honest? Do I have to? I just grabbed the first opportunity to put up a stink so I could get the hell out of there. Of course I'm weird. And I can see how that might freak her out. But she wasn't telling me that because she cares. That was her lashing out to hurt me. You know, Astrid, memory is weird. You suddenly remember these moments without knowing why. For instance, one day, I visited a fishery. This was a year or two ago. I was writing the script for a promotional documentary about lobsters, a freelance gig for the Agricultural Chamber of Brittany. Truly the crowning moment of my career. Although for real, I loved writing it. It felt good, going outside, meeting people. And lobsters are fascinating animals. Shall I tell you what I remember? Everyone loves lobsters. Their exquisite and delicate flesh is prized by the finest gourmets. With a little garlic butter, lemon, or mayonnaise, they're delicious. They're on every great chef's menu. Lobsters are a symbol of wealth and luxury. Lobsters are a mystery to science because they don't age. Their cells replace themselves perfectly, which allows them to never stop growing throughout their lives. Female lobsters may lay over 100,000 eggs in their lifetime. They keep each clutch underneath their tails for several months. And when the eggs finally hatch, out come a profusion of larvae just a few millimeters long. Can you imagine? Over 100,000 tiny little astrides. Lobsters have a chitin. This natural barrier is so strong that lobsters have no natural predators. In short, no one can mess with lobsters. Except humans, of course. That was the official line. The one I got paid to write. But I dug deeper. You can call me a lot of things, but I'm nothing if not conscientious. I learned a lot about lobsters that the Agricultural Council wouldn't have approved of. Ugly truths we'd rather hide. Everyone loves lobsters. But to truly love them, first you have to cook them. And to cook them, you have to kill them. There are two. The modern way is to stick a sharp knife into their head. But since their nervous system is distributed through ganglia that run down their back, destroying the brain doesn't kill them. Not immediately. They'll spend a long time in agony. Lobsters don't want to die. But the people who love them don't care about that. Lobsters don't age, but after a while their shells do. And if they can't make a new one, their current shell will wear out. It will split. Bacteria, fungi, and other diseases might seep in through these cracks, and then the lobster will rot from the inside. Lobsters have a chitinous exoskeleton, but sometimes they feel trapped in it, so they molt. They leave their shells behind and expose themselves. Until their skin hardens again, the world is full of predators. Carnivorous fish, other arthropods, and humans, of course. Because when they've just molted, when they're soft, lobsters are their tenderest and their tastiest. Female lobsters may lay over 100,000 eggs in their lifetime, but few will reach adulthood. The larvae will be gobbled up by passing wildlife. The young ones will be poisoned by water pollution. Their livers filled with heavy metals and microplastics. And those who grow big enough will be plucked out of the sea by humans to end up on a fishmonger's stall. All this to say, being fake? Writing pretty lies? That doesn't bother me. Between my clerical work for Marie and those PR gigs, I learned to tune it out. No one wants to know what's in my head, but maybe you do? Everyone loves lobsters, and that love is what's killing them. If no one loved them, we'd let lobsters live happily at the cold bottom of the ocean. Lobsters don't need to be loved. Me neither, to be honest. Lobsters don't age. In fact, they could never die at all. If they just stayed in their holes, they'd never get sick. They'd never get harvested or trapped. Unfortunately, lobsters grow. Maybe that's the big difference between them and me. Lobsters have a chitinous exoskeleton that limits their growth. As soon as they shed it, they're in danger. Their enemies notice their weakness. They can smell it, like sharks smell blood. If they can reach a weakened lobster, they'll devour it. They'll tear it apart and feast on its flesh. I don't want to be eaten. Female lobsters may lay over 100,000 eggs in their lifetime, and they'll never watch them grow up. You might think that the sea is salty from all the tears shed by lobster mothers, but they don't cry. What good would all that sorrow do? You know, Astrid, memory is weird. You suddenly remember these moments without knowing why, until you realize it's trying to teach you something crucial. That day, I learned that I needed to be stronger than a lobster, to never molt, to never get eaten, to just hide in my hole, to never cry. That's the only way that I could keep on living after you died, my little fawn. I don't want anything. I don't expect anything. I feel nothing.
Why are you like this?
She's right. I have been weird lately. Honestly, I'm glad she noticed. You're right.
I am? Because I was starting to think that I was just being a dumbass.
Oh, you're totally a dumbass. You can't just bring up Astrid's death out of the blue and throw it in my face. But you are right. With her gone, something inside me is broken. I just don't feel anything. Everything just slides off me. I'm Teflon. Sealed off. Like a damn lobster.
A lobster?
And you're right. It's been 5 years already. But I'm still trying to figure out how the hell I'm meant to reconnect with my life.
I understand. I mean, I know I can't understand, but I think I get it. Is there anything I can do to help?
I don't think so. Well, you can keep on beating up idiots, but that's more of a public service than for me specifically.
I will. You know, I admire you.
Sure you do.
You've always been the sensitive one.
That's classic Marie right there. I'm sensitive. By which he means weak. Not strong enough for the world. Obviously, I pale in comparison to the formidable Diane. Yep, that's me. So fragile.
That's not what I mean. Mom raised us to bite before we get bitten. That was the only way out she could see. And I guess I took her literally. But you weren't like that. You knew how to listen. You got people. You were less scared of them. I always loved that about you.
That's new. What the hell do I say to that?
Anyway, maybe this is why Mom chose you.
And we're back. Are you bitter right now?
Certainly not.
Certainly.
No. I mean...
You are bitter. You're pouting. Look at your fucking face.
Enough, okay? Stop it. This isn't the time. I just don't get it.
What is there to get? You know Marie. She's unpredictable.
Wait, you mean you didn't know?
Well, you should see what my signature looks like on the form.
Oh, she's the worst. Why would she do that?
I have no idea. I guess she thought it made sense since I handled the rest of her paperwork. Unless she thought I was a perfect fit since I'm a Libra with Pisces rising or whatever.
All right, but still, it's a big responsibility. And it's a bit weird to ask you, of all people, to make that decision.
What am I supposed to do? Scream in the middle of the hospital cafeteria? What's that supposed to mean? I swear, if she brings up the...
You know what I mean.
I don't think I do.
You can be pretty clumsy. You can't cook a meal without setting the house on fire.
Et voilà. I'm never going to live that down, am I?
Depends. Have you figured out a safe way to brown-baked Alaska yet?
Whatever. This isn't the time to rehash all that.
Really, I don't get it. This is so important. Why would she trust you over me?
All right, I've had enough. You know what? You're right. Only an idiot would trust me.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, here it comes. You're the reliable one, aren't you? The one people can always count on.
What are you talking about?
Ugh, I'm out of here. I'd probably just trip over her ventilator or something. Wouldn't want that to happen now, would we?
You're being ridiculous, you know. Please, sit down. I didn't mean to upset you.
Oh, you didn't? Well, you got that wrong. Well, that was embarrassing, wasn't it? I just can't help it. So Mom wrote my name instead of hers on a worthless paper. What does it matter? Dan and I are stuck in this stupid competition. I hate it, but I feel I can't escape it. Of course I'd remember that day. My infamous 25th birthday. The day we met Diane's girlfriend. The day we danced a little, ate a little, and drank too much. But most of all, the day everyone went home early because I set the kitchen on fire while making dessert. There's plenty about that night I never told Diane. I wasn't expecting Marie to have a present for me, and yet she remembered. It was a bottle of Japanese whiskey as old as I was, 25 years of age, but as usual with Marie, things couldn't just be nice. I hope you like it because it costs me a fortune. That's what she said. She could afford it, too. She wasn't world famous yet, but her career was taking off. And with that, her taste became more and more luxurious. Me? Oh, I was light years away from all of that. I hate whiskey. I hated it then, I hate it now. That's how it works with Marie. Even when she does something for Diane and I, in the end, it's always about her. It was the first time Diane introduced us to her girlfriend. Her very first girlfriend. She didn't make a big deal of it. She didn't even tell me that she would have a guest. But I knew it was important to her. And I was furious. It's stupid, I know, but I wanted to enjoy my party. And she showed up with something important to share. All of a sudden, my 25th birthday seemed trite, unimportant. In fact, from the moment Diane and her girlfriend arrived, I no longer mattered to Marie. She rushed over to hug them both. I don't think I'd ever seen my mother so excited. Then she congratulated Diane for her rejection of patriarchally mandated heteronormativity. Diane didn't say anything, but I could see she was upset. Her intimacy had just been reduced to activism, somehow. Her girlfriend was called Sasha. She was nice, intuitive, smart, and very pretty. I was quite reluctant to organize this party. It was the last birthday I would celebrate at Marie's. Your dad and I were about to move in together. So I wanted to make it special. To impress my mother. Earn her respect, maybe even her admiration. But that would only happen if everything were perfect. The fire made it a complete failure. But to be honest, she'd have found some problem anyway. Diane always loved being the center of attention. But when she showed up with her hair cut short and dyed green, I almost didn't recognize her. 19 years strong on this earth, and she couldn't care less about people's opinions. She was amazing to me. But I wonder if she was, at least unconsciously, trying to please Marie. It worked, by the way. Marie always had a... I don't think it made Diane any happier, though. I was so stressed out that night that I started drinking early. Marie loves to drink, so does Diane, and her girlfriend Sasha followed along. Long story short, we got drunk fast. All four of us. We had booze, we had cigarettes, plus I don't have to tell you everything. And after a while, Diane was completely out. She could barely stand. I'd got these nice candles to decorate the table with. Obviously, I burned myself when lighting them. To no one's surprise, that was typical me. Scaevus, they called me. It means clumsy in Latin. Marie coined that one. I didn't mind. Quite the contrary. In any family, everyone plays a role. You just need to find the one that suits you. And I like being the bumbling, fumbling one. That way, at least, the pressure was off. So, yes, Jan and I were trapped in this ridiculous rivalry. The choir girl versus she's not allowed to show any sign of weakness. I'm never taken seriously, and we hold it against each other. But as soon as we lower our guards, become more intense as we grew in Mary's shadow. We care about each other more than anyone else. When dinner started, Marie turned on the charm. She laughed loudly, talked a lot, asked all kinds of questions. She has the most unbelievable charisma when she's trying to please someone, you know? And that night, she really was trying. I thought it was odd. She certainly wasn't doing it for me, or for Diane. And then I noticed the way she was looking at Sasha. I saw the glimmer in her eyes. The same as when she talks about Japanese whiskey. And I got worried. Alex called several times that night. He wanted to know how things were going. He had a hunch things would be tense, and he wanted to be my emotional hotline. I didn't answer. I wanted to fend for myself. It's why I didn't invite him in the first place. I'll admit, sometimes his support was stifling. The flames went up very high, very quickly. Everyone ran into the kitchen. Marie, Diane, and Sasha. That sobered her up. She grabbed the extinguisher from the cupboard and put out the fire. She laughed her ass off about it later. I said it was an accident. I was trying to brown the baked Alaska, but it got out of hand. No one questioned my version of events. The whole thing was just classic me. Alex wasn't there to defend me. And I just sucked it up. I never saw Sasha after that day. She and Diane broke up a few weeks later. Maybe I was just drunk. Maybe I was imagining things. Maybe I was paranoid. But when Marie invited Sasha to her studio to see the paintings and more, ooh, that raised a flag. She was up to something. She was trying to seduce her. And maybe she could have. I tried to warn Diane, told her to watch out. She was too far gone. I had to do something, but I couldn't face Marie head on. I wasn't strong enough, so I improvised. No one noticed the bottle of Japanese whiskey was completely empty. Alcohol burns nicely on the stove. It was perfect for me to craft a diversion. And you know what? I wasn't even that drunk. I was mostly angry. At Marie. At myself. at my inability to confront her face to face. Maybe nothing happened after all. Maybe Marie didn't try anything. I'll never know. But I was scared enough for Diane's relationship that I set the kitchen on fire. I never told Diane what happened. She still thinks I'm a bumbling idiot. I can't tell her the truth, and she wouldn't want to hear it anyway. But what I did that night, I did out of love. Marie always said that you can't trust anyone in life. Well, in that moment, whether she knew it or not, Diane could trust me.
Why would she trust you over me?
And here we go again, trying to see who can spit the furthest. But you know what? I'm not playing this game. She needs her sister today, not a fight. You know, I get it.
Get what?
Why you think of me this way. The chump who keeps screwing things up.
I never...
I understand because that's my little routine, you know?
What are you saying?
What's wrong with me? I'm not about to tell her all my dirty secrets. That wouldn't be like me at all. Although I guess this is a... Whatever. Just understand this. We both know things can be tense between us. It would be easier if I could act like this is all her fault. Jan's competitive spirit is unmatched. She has to be the first in everything. You can make her a little stupid sometimes. Oh, just like when she was training for tennis, or when we did hamster races. She hit the ball so forcefully, like I've never seen. One day, at home, I noticed her hand was swollen. She said it was nothing. She especially didn't want to tell Marie. And I had to threaten to snitch on her so she'd let me take her to the hospital. It turns out, she'd fractured her wrist. She told the doctor that it had been a bit painful for weeks, but that she was fine. She wouldn't even hear about a cast because she had an important tournament coming up. I felt like punching you at times.
Come again?
Yeah, it sounds weird when I say it out loud. You're the strongest person I know.
And you're built like a sea cucumber.
Look, all I'm saying is, I was always on your side when it mattered.
Are you talking about Mom right now?
Not just her. Yeah, I'm totally talking about Marie. I'm talking about the fact that you're my sister, and that's special to me. And I know it's the same to you. Listen, Diane, I have no idea how things are going to play out with Marie. And it's true, I have been feeling out of it for a little while now. But I do know one thing. That's going to help us.
What do you mean?
I mean that being a psychopathic robot has its perks. Cool heads prevail. And I think this is going to help us make the right choice. The best choice for Marie, sure. But for you and me, too.
Maybe.
Why are you looking at me like that?
It's just... I'm not used to seeing you like this. You sound confident. It suits you. All right, so what do we do?
I have no idea. But I'm not going to tell her that right now. I need to find a different tack. You know your mother. She's stubborn. A real trooper. So, I think we will have to wait and see.
I can't. No, I just can't. I'm not going to sit here twiddling my thumbs.
We don't have a choice, Jan.
Of course we do. We need to stay on top of the doctors. They need to do their absolute best. Come to think of it, we're not keeping her in this hole. I'll call my dad. I'll bet he'll have a buddy in a private clinic somewhere. We're not leaving anything to chance. Why aren't you saying anything? You're with me, right? We need to fight, don't we?
I don't know, Jen.
What do you mean? I don't know, Diane. If we were in her place, you know very well what she'd be doing. She'd do everything in her power to make sure we pulled through. We owe her that as well. Don't we?
I can't take any more illusions of control.